got some stuff I need to get off my chest. They asked me how it was in the war.
What up, citizen soldiers? Welcome to another installment of War Stories. Today I'm going to talk about how and why I ended up joining the military. First, I'll give you a quick background of my service. I served in the Army for 3 years. I enlisted July 5th, 2005. I got out July 14th, 2008. I did a 15-month deployment in Baghdad, Iraq. I was in 88 Mike, which is a truck driver. I was in Delta Troop 361 Cav, 2nd Brigade, 2nd Infantry Division, stationed out of Fort Carson, Colorado. And the reason why I ended up joining, I never had intentions in serving whatsoever. So most of y'all might be shocked and be like, well, why in the fuck did you join? I'm about to get to that. I was in high school. I was a junior in high school. I was supposed to be a senior, but my first freshman year, I missed about 50-something days of school and I got held back. 3 months, or roughly around 3 months before we were forced during English class to go listen to the recruiters sit through a presentation. And yes, we were forced. We asked our English teacher if we can go to the gym and play basketball, because I love basketball. Basketball was my passion, my love. I played no more or no less than 4 hours every single day, if not more. And since I had no intentions in serving, I didn't want to even go listen to the recruiters. But our teacher told us, no, y'all can't go to the gym, which she's let us go to the gym before to play basketball when, you know, we weren't doing things, we were finished with our work or whatever. And she said it was mandatory for us to go listen to the recruiters, which is complete bullshit. You should not be forced during school to miss school to go listen to recruiters. What does the military in war have to do with your education? Absolutely fucking nothing. Nothing. The reason we were forced to go listen to the recruiters is because, especially our town, a little small town called Vidor, Texas, it was a fucking gold mine. And fuck you, you dirty insurgent with your loud ass truck. But anyways, it was a gold mine for recruiters. 2005, I would say 15-20 people enlisted in 2005. And it's because we were forced to go listen to the recruiters. And they got me with the whole, your college is free. You get free college money, which is complete bullshit. I mean, yeah, for the most part it is free to an extent. But people don't realize they take $100 out of your paycheck for the first year for your SGLI bill, or SGLI. Actually, SGLI is the money in case you're killed that your family will get. I meant the GI Bill. They take $100 out each month for the first year. And the first year is the most critical year because you're not making shit in the military. Especially when you first enlist, you don't make shit. But anyways, let me backtrack a little bit. A couple months before we were forced to go listen to the recruiters, me and my family, we ate dinner every night at the table as a family. Something a lot of families nowadays do not do, and you should do, because it's a good time to communicate with your family. You know, spend time with your family. Well, I remember my stepmom bringing up the point of joining the service for college money. You know, I should think about college money. And I was like, screw that, which in my mind, I'm like, fuck that, but I didn't say that because I would have caught a backhand. Nah, my parents wouldn't hit me, but I was like, screw that, you know there's a war going on right now? Fuck that. I ain't going to war. And it was that point in mind, and the way I am is when I put my mind to something, such as not wanting to join the military, I'm not going to join the military. And an example of this, of when I was in the military, is, say if I wake up for PT, and we would run no less than 6 miles every single day. But say I wake up in the morning, and I don't feel like running. And I'd be like, yeah, I might run a quarter of the way, I'm going to drop out. If I wake up and I make that decision I'm going to run, and I'm going to fall out, and I'm not going to run anymore. And they can bitch at me all they want to try to get me to run again, and most likely I'm not, because I'm stubborn. Or I was very, very stubborn back then. So this is how I find it very strange, because I know my personality. You know, like I said, I'm stubborn. When I make my mind up to do something, or make a decision, I was going to stick with it. So I found this very strange how right after listening to the military, the Army recruiters give their spiel of making the military sound like this is such a glorious thing, that you get to travel the world and do great things and fight for our freedom, and you get free college money and free health care, and your food and housing's paid for. And they never mention the negative things about the military, that the military can cost you your life, not only in war, but because PTSD is one of war's biggest killers and silent killers that a lot of people don't know. 18 veterans commit suicide every single day. Fact. But they don't tell you about that. Or at least back then, they didn't mention that whatsoever. I don't know how they do now, but I know back then they're not going to tell you the negative things, because you get the negative things, you get a little scared, you're not going to want to join. So they give you all the positives. Anyways, I found it very strange how as soon as I walked out of the presentation, it was like I was in a trance. Like, I'm serious, my face was like this. I walked out and I was like, you know what? I'm fucking joining the military. I'm gonna go get me some motherfucking college money. And I'm gonna go to college. I've been out of the military since 2008. I haven't been to college yet. And actually, I don't even have my college money, because I lost it because of my discharge, because I got kicked out, wrongly discharged for having PTSD, but that's a whole different subject. I'll cover that in a different episode. But I just found it strange how as soon as I walked out, I wanted to join the military. And I went home and I told my dad, Dad, bring me to the recruiter. I want to join the military. And he was excited. I come from a long line of military people. Every single generation of my family has served in every single war and revolution, dating back to the Revolutionary War, and probably shit even before that. I was a military brat and I didn't even realize it until I was in the service. I mean, my dad served in the Air Force, my mom served in the Army, my uncle served in the Marine Corps. I mean, the list goes on and on and on. So my dad was very excited. He wanted me to join the military. So we went up, talked to the recruiters, you know, and like I said, I was a junior. I was a junior in high school in 2005. I was going to be another year behind because I never applied myself in school. And kids, don't be like me. Apply yourself in school. School is so fucking easy. All you have to do is, all you're doing is memorizing stuff and repeating it back on paper. That's all you're doing. It's not that hard. If you just apply yourself, you'll pass school like that, unless you have some sort of learning disability, which usually they would recognize something like that when you're young. Well, not all the time. My stepsister actually had problems with math. They didn't realize that until high school. But school's not that hard, so I was going to be another year behind. And my stepmom, she got her GED, and she's now has I think a master's. She was a registered nurse, and now she has her CNA or whatever comes when you get your master's degree. She's very successful, even when she had her GED. And I call the GED Gangsta Education for Dummies. Good enough diploma. You know, So I remember riding in the back of the car and my dad bringing up the fact that if you're really serious about joining the Army, we'll let you go get your GED if you're really serious about joining the military. And I was like, yeah. He's like, I don't want you to go flip burgers. And I guess that plan kind of backfired because I haven't had a job. The Army's been my only job besides a little side job I did when I was like 13. I helped remove mold from somebody's house, move all their stuff out of their house. Child labor. Yeah, that's what it was. But so I ended up getting my GED, and I made a decision to join the military. And I joined quick. Joined really quick. As soon as I turned 18, I went, took the ASVAB test. And when you take the ASVAB test, you have a GED. Back then, you were supposed to score a 50 on the ASVAB. I scored a 46 or 47. I think it was a 47. Technically, I was supposed to be disqualified, but they gave me a waiver. And I was pissed when I scored that 47. I was like, I'm not going to have to take this test all over again. And I studied my ass off for the ASVAB. The most studying I've ever done in my life. I mean, for a month or two, I studied every day. And like I said, if I never paid attention in school, never applied myself throughout school, I never did any homework. I did one homework assignment, and maybe a small select few here and there. But if I can study hardcore for ASVAB test, which is a pretty hard test, and pass it, or technically pass it with the waiver, then you can pass it yourself. Sorry about that. I had my brother and them pull up. Totally forgot where I was at. Anyways, a lot of people say it was 100% my decision to join the military, that I shouldn't complain about getting PTSD or complain about having a bad experience in the military or nothing like that, because it was all 100% my fault, which I do not agree with. I was highly influenced into joining the military because military recruiters do know what they're doing. They know how to talk to people, especially impressionable high schoolers who are thinking about their future, and they bribe you with college money, and that's how they got me. The only reason I joined is because I wanted the college money. I didn't join to protect our freedom. I didn't join to fight terrorists. I didn't join for any of that, because if a lot of y'all know me, y'all know my views on 9/11, the Iraq War, and our government. If you don't know, go check out a lot of my other videos and you'll see. But if it was 100% my decision to join the military, then I would have went up to the recruiter's office on my own, completely on my own, without any influence. But that's not what happened. We were forced to go listen to the recruiters, which I disagree with. Military recruiters should not be in high schools. War and all that has nothing to do with your education. And I have a question to everybody out there. I know I have a lot of followers or supporters that are still in school. I have a lot of people tell me, a lot of people that are in between 13 and 17 who say it's been their dream since they were a little kid to join the military, which I don't comprehend that, because back when I was a kid, the military never crossed my mind whatsoever, not once. And like I said, I come from a long line of military, but it never crossed my mind in serving. And it seems like nowadays, all the brainwashing from the way they show war in video games, show war in TV, you know, show war in movies, it's this big entertainment thing. And they brainwash the kids. I see the brainwashing firsthand. And it's pathetic. It's pathetic how they try to get people to serve. Americans should want to serve their country on their own, not without any influence. They shouldn't have ROTC in schools, or junior ROTC in schools. That's just pretty much highly influencing people to wanting to join when they get out of high school. It's pretty much a military, it's like a military school within public school. That's what junior ROTC is. But joining for college money, or money for period, is the wrong reason to join the military. It's proven fact that that innocent civilians die in every war. It's part of war. It's one reason why I don't agree with war, especially unjust wars. And if you're joining for college money, you're pretty much being paid. You're being a paid assassin. How would you feel if you took innocent life, or any life for that matter, all because you wanted some money? Bet you'd feel like shit. I guarantee you'd probably get PTSD. And PTSD is, to me, it's a demon. I look at it as I sold my soul to the devil. Not, I didn't sign a paper or nothing like that saying, "Here, devil, here's my soul." I blindly sold it. And I believe that's one reason why I got this demon inside of me. It's because I joined the military for the wrong reasons. And the reason why I'm beating PTSD now, I'm almost cured, if not already cured. This last treatment I did out in Florida, things don't bother me. Things don't trigger me like they used to. It's because God forgave me. He forgave me. He didn't forgive me. He forgave me. I need to learn English a little bit better. That must be the effects of not paying attention to school. But anyways, if you're going to join the military, which I'm against people joining the military, but I can't stop you. I like to call myself, I'm not a recruiter, I'm a decruiter. I tell you my experience. I had a bad experience, and I share that with you to let you know that you can have a bad experience and what you're getting into. Because it can ruin your life, it can cost you your life. And it's a huge decision to make. And you can cost innocent lives. That's another huge decision. Huge decision that you're not capable to really make when you're in high school. And they're targeting kids as young as 13 years old. Which is fucking disgusting to me. Kids don't know what war's about. They don't know what the real world's about. Half of these kids nowadays, they don't even know the Pledge of Allegiance, or actually we don't even say the Pledge of Allegiance anymore in schools, but they don't even know how many amendments are in the Constitution. They don't know the Constitution because they don't teach it in school, really. People don't know what's going on. They don't pay attention to politics. It's boring. So, I don't know. It kind of pisses me off sometimes how good souls can be turned to bad souls because they don't know what they're getting into. I mean, a lot of people do have good experiences in the military, and a lot of soldiers do good things for the people in all the countries we're in, 100 plus or 130 plus countries we're in. A lot of soldiers do good things for them. If you're going to do good things for the world, then by all means go join the military, do it. But remember why you're serving. Remember, you're supposed to protect and defend the Constitution against foreign and domestic enemies. And I know I didn't say that word for word right, but that's why you're supposed to serve. And our Constitution's being overthrown right now, and a lot of troops aren't willing to stand up to that. And it's pathetic. Anyways, that's the whole reason why I joined. If you're going to join the military, ask yourself why you're joining. Don't just join because it's your childhood dream. That's ridiculous to join just for that reason. Research the wars. Listen to veterans who have been there. Listen to both sides, people who had good experience and people who had bad experiences. And make sure you're joining, you had an educated decision in your choice, or you made an educated decision, because it's a very life-changing decision. Anyways, much love from the Iraq veteran.